Assalamu alaikum and hello to my non-Muslim viewers. I recently read an article a little bit ago, or um, like a few hours ago, where it says most atheists believe in the supernatural despite trusting science. And the article, which I will post in the description below, says belief in the supernatural is still alive and kicking even among people who don't believe in a God. Research on atheists and agnostics around the world has revealed that almost nobody can claim to completely reject irrational beliefs such as life after death, astrology, and the existence of a universal life force. And then the article later on says the UK based Understanding Unbelief Project interviewed thousands of self identified atheists and agnostics from six countries: Brazil, China, Denmark, Japan, US, and UK. In UK, and then when they interviewed those people, they found that those people that many atheists actually do believe in the supernatural, and they do believe in uh, they don't necessarily believe in God, but they believe in the supernatural. They believe in they believe uh, they believe in life after death and things like that. So basically atheism, to be honest, it doesn't really make any sense because uh, atheists have to take atheists are like believers, right? They have to take things on faith. And there's a really good meme that one of my friends had, and one of my friends sent me. And in the meme it says Christians believe in the virgin birth of Jesus. Materialists or atheists believe in the virgin birth of the cosmos. Choose your miracle. So if you're saying, I mean, just look around, right? Look at the universe, look at the skies, look at the earth, look at the stars. Just look up at night and look at the stars, and well, I don't know if you can see the stars in America because we have all this like pollution and shit. But if you go to like a country where there's not much pollution or any clouds or anything, in a country where you can see like the sky, right, the entire universe and the cosmos and things like that. Are you atheists really telling me all that's coincidence? I mean, there's no way all of that is just a random coincidence, right? I mean, just think about this for a second, right? Like atheists mock Jews, Christians, and Muslims for believing the supernatural, and they mock Christians and Muslims for believing in the virgin birth of Jesus. Yet atheists and materialists and naturalists and things like that believe in the virgin birth of the cosmos. So, in other words, they believe that the whole universe and the Earth and the our whole solar system and the galaxies and the universes up there in the sky just randomly came. There was just it was just some random accident, and that doesn't make any sense, because how can nothing produce something that's vast? So it makes more sense to say that it makes the Kalam cosmological argument makes a lot of sense. What is the Kalam cosmological argument? Basically, it was popular. It was invented by Muslims, and then William Lane Craig, who's a Christian apologist, popularized it. Basically, the Kalam cosmological argument refutes the idea that the universe and the galaxies and the stars and the or the solar systems or whatever, or the Big Bang was started by nothing, right? So the Kalam cosmological argument the Kalam cosmological argument, sorry, says that if the universe began to exist, the universe has a cause. The universe began to exist, therefore the universe has a cause. The cause of the universe is most possibly God. So basically, the atheistic views or the atheistic beliefs. Most atheists and agnostics themselves believe in the supernatural, right? So if they believe in the supernatural, then it's not impossible to say that God, or it's not unreasonable to say that God started the universe, that the Big Bang was started by something supernatural, and that supernatural being or thing is God, right? So God caused the universe. God caused God uh, the cause of the universe, or the beginning of time and the beginning of the universe was God, or like I like to say, the God touch, right? The God touch exploded the Big Bang, or the God touch initiated the Big Bang. So basically, the universe began to exist. The universe had a cause. Um, um, the universe began to exist. Therefore, the universe has a cause. The cause of the universe is God, right? So there's no way any kind of atheist, no matter how smart they are, no matter how many PhDs they have, can disprove that God started the universe, because the universe had to come from something, right? Nothing can't produce something. Something has to produce something. So there had to be something behind the Big Bang theory, or the Big Bang, that started the whole universe and galaxies and solar systems and things like that. So I mean, the whole point of this video is that why there's something rather than nothing, right? So this article really made me think about the flaws in in atheist beliefs, the atheist belief system, because now most atheists believe in the supernatural. Thus, it's not unreasonable, according to even atheist standards, to say there is a God and he caused, or he started the universe. It's not unreasonable to hold on to that view, according to atheist or materialistic or naturalist uh, point of view, or according to their standards. According to atheist standards, it's not unreasonable or impossible to say God started the universe, and or God began the universe, or God caused the Big Bang um, that exploded, uh, and that's how we got the galaxies and universes and things like that. So basically, I mean, basically in life, I learned that hope is a very dangerous thing to lose. Right? If you lose hope, then then life becomes harder, or life becomes more difficult. Life becomes harder to live. There's a verse in the Quran that says, "With difficulty, verily, with difficulty comes ease." And I know that to be true, because there were times in my life where I had difficult times, and then later on, things became more easier for me. So everybody goes through rough times. Everybody has different paths in life. Everybody has their own subjective struggles and things like that. It doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter if they're Christian, Muslim, atheist, Jew, um, you know, agnostic, atheist. Doesn't matter, who they are, where they come from, what their social situation is, or what their race, ethnicity is, or whatever. I mean, everybody in life goes through hardships and stuff like that. But what I discovered is, having hope. Having hope really helps. If it's just going to, if life is just, if there's no purpose to life, then you lose hope like quicker. That's what I discovered. You get more depressed and stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying that's always the case. I'm not saying all atheists are hopeless and they're depressed, and they see no point to life. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's easier to have hope, right? It's easier to have hope for a better tomorrow. It's easier to have hope that God will answer your prayers and things like that. Living life alone, thinking that you're alone, and you make your own luck, and things like that is kind of it's kind of a problematic thing. It doesn't really give hope, right? So the reason why people pray to God, whether it's Jew, Christian, Muslim, or whatever, is they hope for a better future, they hope for a better tomorrow, they hope for a better month, they hope for a better life and stuff like that. And hope is a very dangerous thing to lose. So that's why I think it's better to say that there's something rather than nothing, despite the opposition, despite despite the fact that sometimes you have to take things on faith, right? There are things in the Quran where you have to take it on faith. There are things in the New Testament where you have to take it on faith. There are things in the Old Testament where you have to take it on faith. There are things in atheism where you have to take it on faith. There are things in the other Eastern religions, Hinduism, Jainism, Sikhism, Buddhism, where you have to take it on faith, right? So sometimes you have to admit that nobody has all the answers, right? Well, at least nowadays, nobody has all the answers. Sometimes you have to take a leap of faith. Sometimes you have to do what you need. Sometimes you have to do what you think is the right thing to do, even if it's a lonely journey, or even if it's even if it's a journey where there's no reward, where there's no fame or glory and things like that. So hope is something where like it helps people get out of bed, and um, it helps people to believe that there could be a better tomorrow, right? There could be better days. I like there's one billboard I saw in Detroit a little bit ago. I think it was last year or 2017 or something like that, where it said "Hope, hold on, pain ends," and I really like that because that really, in reality, that's what hope is. Um, basically, what gets me out of bed and what makes me uh, you know, get through the day is hope. That hope that Allah will, answer my prayers and, give me a better tomorrow, or give my fellow man a better tomorrow, or my fellow Muslims a better tomorrow, a better future. Whether it benefits me or not, I don't really care if it benefits me or not. It's just like hope for a better future, right? So, but anyways, like atheism, it really doesn't make any sense logically and scientifically. So even like scientists and atheists are saying it's not unreasonable to believe in the supernatural. It's not unreasonable to believe that, God or a supernatural force caused the Big Bang. And there's many other arguments besides the Kalam cosmological argument that refute atheism. There's arguments like the Kant's possibility proof, or the moral arguments. There's argument from dignity, argument from desire, argument from love, argument from beauty, argument from collections, argument from natural numbers, argument from biological complexity, argument from the meaning of life. Argument from simplicity, argument from introduction, argument from the rejection of global skepticism, argument from reference, general argument from intuition, arguments from uh, providence and miracles, argument from nostalgia, argument from reason, argument from logic, argument from beauty, argument from fine tuning, etc., etc. So there's many arguments that refute atheism, that logically refute atheism. There's and then there's even scientists say, even the most atheistic or agnostic scientists say that, yeah, there's unknowns, right? Like scientists don't have all the answers. They don't know how the universe they're not sure how the universe began, and things like that. So to me, this like really rules out atheism, because atheism and agnosticism really never made that much sense to me, because they uh, they always say, well, we have evidence to support what we're saying, but in reality, they don't. They have to take things on faith, right? They don't know how the universe started for sure, or they don't know what caused the Big Bang, or they don't know. They don't know how languages developed, and things like that. So there are a lot of unknowns in the origins of man and the origins of universe. So it makes more. I mean, keep Occam's razor in mind. It makes more sense. It's more simpler to say, yeah, God started it. God started languages, and God started, the beginning of the universe, and or he caused the Big Bang and things like that. It makes more sense to say that. Um, because, and again, atheists can't disprove God either. They can't, because, again, they don't have all the answers. So sometimes, sometimes you have to take things on faith. Sometimes you have to, and use like logic and reasoning. Here, that's why I don't really understand like these, ex-Muslims that leave Islam and become atheist, and because it just doesn't make any sense. It's just like they're saying, well, there's no evidence for God, or they won't always say that. They won't always cite that in their reasons for leaving Islam. But sometimes they will say that, yeah, I left Islam because there's no evidence for God, or there's no evidence for Allah, and things like that. And I just say, just look around. You think, oh, this is some wild coincidence? No, that takes more faith, right? It takes more faith to say, yeah, this whole Earth and this whole universe and the whole stars and the galaxies and universes and the sun and the planetary bodies and all that was just coincidence or random. That to me that it to me that it takes more faith to believe that, right, than to say, yeah, God caused all of that. It takes more faith, or it takes more belief in. It takes more belief to say all of this is random and all of this is coincidence. Um, so that's why I don't have enough faith to be an atheist. I have faith in God because it's the most logical and reasonable explanation for everything, for the whole universe, for the whole origins of the universe and the origins of mankind, the languages of mankind and things like that. Scientists still can't explain, language, right? Like, why is it that animals can't speak, but human beings can speak? It's called the Proto-Adamitic language. So human beings are the only people who develop like complex language systems to understand one another. Yet animals aren't able to communicate, and as well as humans and things like that. So it's stuff like that that easily refutes atheism to me. Now, other people might have other arguments and things like that, but I'm not really going to get into that. I'm just trying to focus on the logic and reasoning, or the flaws in the logic and reasoning of atheists and agnostics. Remember, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidences. So if you atheists and agnostics watching this video are saying that yeah, the whole universe and the whole Earth and the whole planetary systems and the galaxies in the universe and our Earth would just form randomly without any kind of cause, then that takes bigger faith. That's more unprovable. That takes more belief than saying God did it. Because again, atheists and agnostics don't have all the answers. Just stop complicating the situation, or stop making the whole thing complex, and just go towards a more simplistic and reasonable explanation where it says God started all of this. And it's definitely not unreasonable to believe that, even according to atheists and agnostics um, standards, because now atheists do believe in the supernatural. Thus, it's not unreasonable to say God started everything in the universe according to atheist standards itself. Thanks. So.